Alrighty, friends, we are back. It's your favorite podcast show of the week. This is Location Weekly. It's episode number 721, and we are recording on July the 25th. This week, I am pleased to be joined by my original co-host of this program, Rob Woodbridge. He's back. Um, Good to have you, buddy. How are you?
Thanks. I needed a little bit of time between the Yankees Jays series to just recover and recuperate and be able to face you.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm not wearing a hat at least. I had my Jays hat
I
on,
thought
but I
you'd be
felt
full gear. I thought you'd be in full
yeah,
gear.
yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I I put my Yankees cap underneath my winter jacket. I think I'll wait for next year. But I don't have a Jays anything. But I'm happy to see that Canada has still got a baseball team. How's that?
There you
That
go.
was pretty good, right?
That's pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty
It's
good.
great to be
So,
here, man. I appreciate you
yeah.
inviting me back. I'd like to know what you're going to do for the 1000th episode. Like, is that because that's monumental. I don't want to get ahead of yourself, but 279 episodes away from 1000. Like that
I
seems
think
like
we're just gonna have to like all get together, Rob, and we'll have to just do it live somewhere in a studio. I don't know. We'll do
on
something
stage somewhere. Like
on
I think you
stage.
should do it at like a retail loco or something like that, and just do the 1000th
Could be.
episode.
Could
Yeah,
be. Yeah, yeah.
everybody
Have to,
participate.
I'll have to, now you're gonna make me have to calculate like when is that
When
gonna
that would
fall in
be,
the
it
calendar?
will
So,
be. Yeah,
yeah.
you have to. You have to,
Yeah.
and then you have to build something around it. 1000 is a pretty remarkable thing to
It
get to.
is. It is. Well, the
721.
500th was pretty big. Like I remember that when we did that one. That
Yeah,
was a lot of fun with everybody sending in clips and what. Yeah.
500. Yeah, I think that like when you hit 1000, we should dig up the old archival footage of the very first episode.
Okay.
I don't think we've changed much since then, eh, buddy?
Well,
Like I
hopefully
don't.
you have that. I don't even know where I'd find that now.
I might be able to find it. I don't know if we want to look at that because that was how many years ago?
Well,
15
I know
years
I
ago,
didn't have
right?
this much gray hair and all this going on. So yeah,
But Asif, I got to tell you, you still have hair.
I still have hair. There's that.
You see
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Yeah. There's
it's
always an upside.
there is an upside. You still have
So,
hair,
all right.
flowing locks. All
Okay.
right.
Well, let's we have four stories we want to walk you through this week. And I'll let Rob kick us off with a an old friend who's launched something new.
JD.
JD.
Yeah. Like, what has Jack Dorsey been up to, right? Since he invented the thing that won the presidency, right? Like, what has he been doing since then? He's come and he's gone, and one of the things that Jack Dorsey's always been known for is health, right? Is his focus on health, and so this was kind of a surprise. I thought it might be a game that he was launching, but it isn't. He just launched a new app called Sun Day, not Sunday. Sunday. And it's a low key app that is it's just an odd one for me. But hear me out here when we talk about it. It is an app that uses your location to figure out what the UV index is at where you are right now. Then it takes that information, your location and the UV index, and it factors in stuff that you should know, like or it factors in things like your skin type and what you're wearing, and then it'll tell you how long you can safely stay in the sun. Then it estimates how much vitamin D you're getting while you're out there. It's kind of like I read it somewhere. It's kind of like a personal sun coach in your pocket. It's a very interesting concept, and really when you kind of did a little digging in it, and he's really been vocal about health and sunshine and UV and avoiding it and or using it in safe measures. But it's like what's really interesting, especially when it comes to location marketing, is how they're leveraging the context aware experience of where you're the place you are at, the severity of the UV index, what you're wearing, and all of a sudden weather can become cool again. It gives you a little bit of personalized advice about where you are at this moment, and what you should do to cover up from the sun. Now, the sun when I was a kid was just there. It was a ball in the sky, but you used to go away when we would go down to spring break to Florida or Mexico, whatever it was. Like we would get singed as Canadian, as white alabaster Canadians, right? Like we would just get singed immediately as soon as you walked out in the sun. And but now it doesn't matter. You could be outside for 15 minutes in Ottawa, Canada, in the middle of the summer, and you will get a severe sunburn. So obviously, this is a different world we're living in, and Jack Dorsey is starting to flex a little bit around health and creating awareness around the UV rays that are beaming down upon you. What do you think?
So I like it. I mean, first of all, I mean it's Jack Dorsey, so it's got some credibility behind it. I think it's an important issue from a health perspective. As somebody who just came back from holiday and was basically in the sun every day. Not that like I'm one of these people where I'm like I don't really burn. Do I need sunscreen? Like, I've already got like, I'm dark enough, but I do like, I go from light brown to dark brown by the end of the summer, right? Like it is a thing.
Yeah.
And so I think it's an important topic, and like I'm happy to see he's trying to address it. I'm gonna pull an old Rob Woodbridge trick out of the hat, which is, back in the day, Rob, we used to have like an app of the week that we would talk about, like a new app or
I
something like
remember it.
that. And so, like my question back to you, Rob, is like, because you used to ask this question all the time, is this a business or is it like just a feature in somebody else's thing? Like, why can't Apple Health or Google Fit just add a UV, location tracking service to what they do? And, how is this going to be like, a standalone business?
Well, it's not. It's Jack Dorsey, so he can have these
Yeah,
little. That's why I said call it
exactly.
a flex, right? Like he can release whatever he wants because there's no
He's Jack
revenue
Dorsey.
requirements. Yeah, like
Yeah.
when you're loaded, you can do whatever you want. And so this is no, this isn't a business model, but like look, I was just pulling up the Weather Network app here, and like it's got the UV rating in here, and but like I think that this is when you talk about micro businesses or even this new push in AI where you can just create anything for one thing, right? And anybody with vibe coding can do that. So that's what this kind of reminded me of. But then I started thinking, like, is this the traditional advertising model could fit into this quite well, but the last thing I want to know is like the last thing that I want to have is ads being pushed to me when I'm trying to find out if the UV rating is too high. I just think that the assumption here is that the UV rating when the sun is in the sky is bad, it is high, and you should probably cover up unless you've got all the earth is burning around you in the forest fires, and then you might have a little bit of haze to cover the UV or for UV dispersal. But this is not a business. This is not a business. This is Jack Dorsey, and maybe he'll come
Yeah.
out with like the UV rays, and then it'll be like the humidity app, and then it'll be like a little suite of micro health apps. But
Yep. But it's
whatever it
Jack
takes to
Dorsey.
create awareness, right? Skin cancer is not a
So it's
big deal
good.
about it.
Yeah, no, I love it. And obviously a great use of location data. So it's
Yes.
positive.
Context aware,
There you go. All
location
right.
aware.
Let's jump over to Korea now. And we'll talk about Legoland in Korea. They've been seeing some decline in visitors over the last little while. They're down about 2 million from their target in terms of overall visitation from what it was, a couple of years ago, or even last year, I should say. And so they're, trying to, find new ways to make it more engaging and more fun, draw more people to the park. And so they've launched these Chat GPT powered interactive AI dolls across the park. So these are like dolls, like I guess like, full size, human size
Like
Lego
Squid
like
Game dolls?
type of dolls, and they're multilingual, so English, Japanese, Chinese, and Uzbek. Um, and they give you live voice guidance, around the park. So these, they call them smart companions. They recognize attraction locations. They serve personalized information to visitors, including children, and travelers. They have special knowledge to aid guests with disabilities. So it's kind of like a, I look at this as everybody's trying to figure out what to do with, agentic AI and tools like Chat GPT and all this kind of stuff. And you know, theme park is sitting here going like, well, what can we do with this? Let's create some dolls. And I don't think it's a bad thing. Like I think one of the best use cases of this type of technology is to, you know, scour the web for the information that people are looking for and present it in a very consumable way, like, and do it quickly, and especially when you're looking at things like the replacement from a corporate perspective of what
Humans.
was in the old days FAQs or those kinds of things that you have like
Oh,
on a
yeah.
website. So I think pulling all this information together that people need at the time that they're there, it makes sense, right? Whether that has to be in a AI doll, I don't know. But I guess, like it fits into the theme, the theme park setting, right? So I don't mind it from that point of view. So, I expect Disney and, all the others will, look at similar types of things. But I think it's an interesting use of Chat GPT type technology. I don't know about you, but like for me, it's a huge time saver on a lot of different tasks, right? Even like our own website for the LBMA Momentum Conference, like it was all built using, Chat GPT
Yeah.
type tools, right? So it's, I think the power of what you can do with these kinds of things and the ability to sort of, find the information that people need on site, whether it's, where are the washrooms or how do I get from where I am to this, ride or this attraction, or how do, I get help for whatever, like finding that the answers to those things quickly and having it in a presentable way makes a ton of sense to me.
So it's basically like a website chatbot, right? But
Yeah.
for a park, right?
Yeah.
And it's all audio, like so you're asking questions like you would ChatGPT's
Yeah.
mobile app, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
or audio app.
multilingual
Yeah,
audio. So it's great
that's
that
killer.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean it's not new in that sense, like in terms of as a service, bot,
Oh,
let's call it that. I mean, I remember we covered a story a few years ago now with uh, was it? I'm trying to remember if it was Lowe's or Home Depot, but one of those guys. And they had like a robot in the store, and
yes.
it spoke multiple languages, and it had a camera on it, and you could
Yeah.
walk into the store and say, bring like some screw that you needed to find a replacement, and hold it up, and it would recognize it, and then it would be like, follow me, and it would take you to that exact place where you could find that screw, like. So stuff like that, like I think is super helpful, right? Um, and good use of this kind of technology.
It is, and it's like chat or all AI, anything agentic or I mean or chat based. So Claude or Chat GPT, like it has changed everything for everyone. We think it has, anyways, but a very small percentage of the population has actually interacted with an AI prompt comparatively. So maybe this is a little bit more exposure, and maybe nobody even knows that it's AI in at all, and it's just a very helpful doll that speaks multiple languages.
There you
Can it help me do my Lego sets though? Like that's the thing. Can
go.
it?
Maybe
I don't know. Like you really
that
want
could
to
be a
help.
thing.
And
So
can you imagine at Disney, just no offense to Disney, but can you imagine at Disney, we've all been there and it's like, hey, I'm looking for Magic Mountain or whatever the latest ride is, right? And it's like, no, you don't want to go there. It's 4 hours, right? It gets an attitude on you. Like, here, this is where you want to go. The Little Mermaid ride, the teacup ride. It's the
yeah, yeah,
lowest.
exactly. But even that's like, in some respects, that's helpful, right? Like, I know like some of the airports now have are using, sort of technology to, help you to say, okay, like don't go to this gate, go to this one because the queue over here is too long, or like all that kind of stuff, right? So I think, being able to pull that real-time information, and whether it's
That's
presented
huge.
through an AI doll or it's presented through a digital sign or what have you, it's huge.
See, that would play interesting because especially around location and disbursement. So if you're in O'Hare or something like that, and you're trying to get into a restaurant or get some food quickly, and the lineup's huge, it could direct you to another part of that terminal that has lower lines and faster service. That's amazing. That'd be something.
Yeah. All right, cool.
All right, I'll jump into the next story, which is around American Eagle. And I'm going to say a bunch of words that I don't understand. So we'll have to, no, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Here it is. American Eagle, which is a bastion of a brand. Like I think that it is a great mall brand. It is an affordable clothing brand. My kids wear it all the time. I sometimes have American Eagle when my wife buys it for me, so that she tells me that I can't wear Kirkland shirts all the time. So American Eagle just became the very first specialty fashion retailer to use Snapchat's promoted places, which is a feature that pins branded store locations directly onto Snap Maps. And this is for 800 American Eagle stores across the U.S. They're now all discoverable on Snap Map, and this enables users, so those Snapchat users, to tap into a location to explore stories, the usual stuff. User-generated content. Even they can shop directly from American Eagle's website. It's all part of their back to school push, which is crazy because it's still July, but we're moving into back to school. And this is clearly targeting a different generation, a generation Gen X, as really to the theme of everything that is location. Location Weekly is to be right where they already are, right? And this is really what they're trying to tap into it. The other side of this is that it has an AR experience that allows people to try on American Eagle's jeans, and so you can do that virtually to try on anything that's denim. This is a, I mean, it's not revolutionary, but being the first here that is doing it in SnapMap or promoted places, I think it's very interesting. The timing is right, their targets are right, the pickup is right. Everything seems to me that this is like a natural place for American Eagle to do this from. I don't have a cynic view on this at all, but I think the data backs this as something that they should be doing. And like I think that it's very interesting, the split between what you can do near the store for discoverability and being in the store, and then doing something from home as well. Because I mean, you can try the denim on at your home, but as you get closer to the store and you're nearby a store, they have a really great opportunity to entice and interact with people that are in the stores through this tool. So I don't think it's revolutionary or innovative in a way, but I do think that it's necessary and it will be effective for the brand.
100% agree with that. Like I think that anytime you can find a way to use a platform like this to sort of blend the digital or e-commerce experience to the physical retail stores and drive traffic to stores, it's a good thing, right? I mean, everybody's trying to figure out how do we keep the store relevant, right? And I think using the Snap Map sort of geography aspect of people being aware of where people are, and then having the pins on the map and driving traffic to the stores and creating experiences there, I think is a good thing. I remember we did a panel with it was in San Francisco. We hosted a panel at an Albany May event now. This is years ago with like the leaders of like all those dating apps like Tinder and Grindr and all of that. And I remember the guy from Grindr would like got up and he was talking about how they were using, I guess it was Foursquare at the time, and
Wow.
they were, I think it was American Eagle as well, actually, if I'm not wrong. But they would basically on the platform, they would say like, "Hey, we know you're here. There's an American Eagle store like within 2 blocks of you. At 5 o'clock today, we're having a DJ there and a party. Like, come on in." And like everybody like you're on the social platform, you're there in that case to meet other people, and we're creating a meeting point for you, right?
At an American
And
Eagle store with a
at an
DJ.
American Eagle store. And so I think there's a lot of ways to use platforms like this, to drive traffic to stores and ultimately, sales there, right? So I think it's a good thing that they're how they're approaching this with the Snap Map. And I think you're going to see TikTok maps, add advertising, Instagrams, got their places piece, and they're doing some AR try on stuff as well. So I think you're going to see all of these platforms, add more features like this that are all leveraging, geolocation data.
The one thing that just dawned on me is and it's probably late to the game, and you guys have already thought about this for sure, but it's always interesting to me, like the grandparent of maps is obviously Google Maps, right? It is an operating system unto itself. It's where you scrape things, you find things, you get ratings, like you name it. It's very important for findability for your business. If you're a retailer or a restaurant, you need those ratings, and then so it's the grandparent of map of data like this. But then, so now you've got Snapchat and SnapMap as a slice demographic where it's like it is absolutely targeted towards a specific demographic, and that demographic is known to leverage Snapchat to buy things or for product discovery, and like that's exactly where they go. And I wonder how many more of those you're going to start to see, like TikTok. I mean, they're probably targeting the same generation, but as you go through, like you'll have these specific apps that are map based that are targeting towards a specific demographic or a generation.
Yeah.
And then you get a guy like me, and it's like, where can I get my dinner at 4 p.m.? Where's the blue light special, right? Like I need the blue light special dinner at 4 p.m. map because I got to be in bed by 8. Where's that? Where's that?
Yeah,
Where would
exactly.
that send me? Would you send me to Kmart or something like that? Oh,
Yeah, if you can still find a Kmart.
I don't think you can. That's
I
it
don't think
now.
you
Look,
can.
I have nowhere to go at 4 o'clock for the blue
I
light
don't think you
special.
can. Yeah.
Damn it.
Uh, we're getting old, Rob, when we can talk about Kmart.
Oh, we're just getting old.
Yeah, there you go. So,
Period.
all right, final story. Let's talk about some dairy, some milk.
Yeah, this is a good one. Talking about
Hopefully we don't have
generational.
any lactose intolerant folks on the call or on the podcast today. But anyhow, there's a organization out there called Dairy Max. They represent 700 U.S. dairy farms. And so they're like a marketing board essentially, promoting milk. And so they've launched a an interesting game, let's call it, or platform called Diner Tycoon. And this is a custom Fortnite world that they've created. So they're trying to tap into, similar to what we just talked about, to the Gen Z audience, promoting dairy consumption to that audience. And I think it's, as I know a bunch of people who are lactose intolerant. I know a bunch of people who have to drink alternatives, and I would say, like, overall, just observationally, I see less people drinking less milk than when I was a kid, for sure. Um, and so, I know obviously it's an issue, and they're trying to find new ways to do this. So they had another game that they built in Fortnite called Farm Tycoon earlier, and so this is called Diner Tycoon, as in, like, like a restaurant. And so Diner Tycoon is, you go into Fortnite and you're managing essentially a virtual diner. You're collecting ingredients. You're making dairy-rich meals, like milkshakes and cheese-based burgers. You get to hire staff and scale operations. So you're basically running your own diner in this thing. And the previous game that they had was, running your own farm. And so it's kind of interesting in that, so it's got real world activation. So there's influencers in this, there's YouTube and Twitch and TikTok integrations. They've got Instacart shopping links for in-game featured dairy products. They've got all kinds of rewards going on, and there's a Discord community tied into this. So they've actually done a lot of integration between. It's not just a Fortnite gaming platform. Like, there's a lot of integration to other things. I know my son, for example, like, spent a fair bit of time on Fortnite and also on Discord. So the fact that those things are, connected here, I think is a good thing for them. So they say that Farm Tycoon, that the previous version to this, saw 167,000 plays within 90 days, logged 72,000 play hours, and apparently, or reportedly, drove 40,000 pounds of milk sales via e-commerce engagement.
What?
Yes. So, so that's a lot, right? So who knows what this one will do? But I find it very interesting. I think this is a very creative way to go after, the Gen Z population and try to, sort of, stress the importance of milk consumption here and, the value of that, to that audience, right? They say that the key focus for them around this campaign is that milk consumption among youth is 20% below national average right now. So it's a problem.
Well, the whole milk industry is in steady
Yeah,
decline, right? Like just
yeah,
gone, gone, gone. And but that's an interesting thing. Like I think maybe here's an out of left field thinking is that when you and I were kids and when our kids were younger, I mean, we had up here in Canada, anyways, we have healthcare and we had like family doctors, right?
yeah,
And now it's next to impossible to find a family doctor in Canada. It's a broken system, and you have to go to clinics. But your family doctor was the single greatest marketer for milk. Do you remember, like
right.
every like when you took your kids in, your doctor would ask, are they drinking milk? It's 2% milk. Yes. Are they eating cheese? Right? Are they like and it
Yeah,
provided that they didn't have any sensitivities, food sensitivities. But that is gone because basically the family doctor is gone, right? Like they're gone, and so like now it's scrambling, and you see the decline, and this is probably maybe it's in lockstep, but the decline of especially in Canada, the Canadian healthcare system around family doctors and those that are fleeing or retiring and not being replenished. And the steady decline over the last 25 years of milk consumption in this class or this age of people. Like that was the thing. The moment I saw my first milk ad and I realized that this was like it was a business and not just like a thing that you had to drink because it was the doctor told you, like that shifted my mind and everything. And boy, like all of a sudden nobody's drinking milk anymore except for like when you